Sports Frenzy family, good night everyone. Welcome to the Sports Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Levana. With me tonight I have Wally. And how should I introduce this man? This is a man that has always been asking for his 30 seconds at the back end of the show. This is a man that loves track and field die-heartedly. Talking about Albert, man. Man, always in the comment section. So finally decided that, hey, I'm out of the
Welcome,
comment section for this
welcome,
man. I'm
welcome,
in.
welcome.
I'm on
Yeah,
the show tonight, and here he is because Kim send out the invitation and say, Albert, come on, man. And here he is.
yeah,
Welcome to the
yeah.
show, man.
Welcome,
Th-
welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be here. Kems have been joining me out, man. So I have to stop hiding.
And as always, we have Kims and we have Ryan. And we are also joined by our second female guest, Anna K. Davis. Welcome to the panel as well, Anna K.
Hi, thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, so we have seen the big news that has popped up earlier on today, speculations. Some say it's rumors, some say it's factual that Elaine Thompson Hera is planning on leaving the MVP camp. First and foremost, I'm just going to start off by playing a little clipping that I saw earlier on today that boy, I was so surprised by it and I was shocked to some senses, but boy, it was something to behold. What am I getting a feedback from? All right, good. So I'm just going to play the clipping so our viewers can actually see it for themselves. So here it is.
But we get to know, coach, that there are some concerns that as to whether or not,
By who? From who?
based on my family chat,
Or you have some concern.
yeah, that they might have indicated or have indicated an intention to move away from the MVP track club via communication to the club. Um, what can I tell you?
Well, what I can tell you is that I am not in the habit of dealing communication which occur between me and men. So I can't comment on that. But I could suggest to you that if you heard that and you believe it and you want to find out, then the best person to really tell you that is her. Because from my perspective, we start back practicing sometime October 18th, 19th, just after he was week. And my philosophy is usually to see who turns up. So I mean, I, so in summary, I can't tell you what Elaine had says to me or I said to her. And secondly, if she tells you that that is her plan, then I will wait and see what happens up until October, mid-October.
Coach, can I add to this? Are you confident that Elaine Thompson Hero will be among the numbers here at MVP by the end of October?
No, I am never confident about that because my experience tells me that athletes in general, especially those who come from a low expectation level, in other words, not much was expected of them all the while, they are usually unable to separate themselves from the people who hop onto their various bandwagon. People they tend to have short memory and they tend to listen to people who they just meet or who uh, gather around them since they have become famous or successful. And they usually, from my experience, have a very, very great influence. It usually takes a very, very smart and strong athlete to sit back and say, you guys weren't around. So leave me, let me make my decision. I don't know that there are a lot of athletes who can do that. So, in short, I would not be surprised if she's not here. I don't know if she's going to be here, but neither do I for anybody else in her situation because, as I said, as they move along, many other things become important to them apart from their training and maintaining their standards.
How has the relationship been between yourself and Elaine this season in terms of though it has always been coming with the successes of 2016 and after the injuries and this year in particular?
I don't think the relationship has been any different, in better or in worse than usual. Um, One of the problems which always happens in MVP is that our approach to training, to coaching, to the development of athletes is far different from what other people experience. Um, we have large number, relatively, of top class athletes, and we have also a very large number of developing athletes. Um, Sometimes an athlete finds it hard to reconcile that when they hear their fellow competitors talk about the coach is a coach that and the coach call them and the coach dip and the coach is very walks everywhere with them and so on. Those kind of things being successful, you tend I guess you tend to want to see those kind of things happen to you. And I think that again the athletes lose focus on what their accomplishments are and focus on other things which I would call it at best frill, and so we do have problems with those people are not don't like to be on competitors, especially within their camp. Um, this year, we I have never been a coach who is going to cater to the idea that any of my athletes must not have completion in practice. So therefore, you know, it is what it is, and sometimes you understand that some athletes want to feel as if they control their coach. So I'm not saying that Elaine is one of those. I'm just saying that you must expect that when in a large training organization like what we have, you're going to have some level of disgruntlement among those athletes who believe that there is too much of a fight for the time of the coach or for the attention, even though they are doing far better than everybody else who gets all that the attention that they want.
Okay, so that was a long interview by Stephen Francis with some folks from RJR. So a lot of things was said in that interview, a whole lot of things. And first, I'm going to start off with Albert. So he spoke about outside influences when, yeah, you come from small, humble beginnings, and then whenever you reach, you basically just throw away the people that bring you to that level. You start to follow behind people that just jump on a bandwagon. So what you have to say about that?
I actually wrote down some of those words that Stephen used: bandwagon, short memory, people influencing you when they were never around when you started from scratch. It's telling. I mean, without any background knowledge of what's happening in the camp, and if you just listen to what Stephen said, and these are stuff that he said before. He said it when Shelley left or when Shelley was leaving. These are some stuff he said. I mean, Stephen is a savvy person. He's very intelligent. He's very smart, and when he speaks, you just have to listen. I mean, he doesn't always say the stuff that people want to hear, but when he speaks with authority. And it's possible that we've seen it with, he said it with Shelley, and as I said before, and now we're seeing it with Elaine. Is well, he didn't mention that it's with Elaine, but come on, I mean, you have to take context clues, because he's saying that basically athletes, they start from nothing. They were nobody. They weren't a champ. They'd never competed at champs. They were never a champ star. No one knew them before until they start the stardom, start winning big, and now that Elaine has gotten massive. I think Elaine is now one of the biggest, in my view, the biggest athlete Stephen Francis have had. I mean, her accomplishment is supersedes everyone, bar none, to this date, and it's shocking, to be honest, to see her. I mean, I understand the change. I mean, we're going to talk about that, the change of representative there, but to see her, or to hear that she's leaving at such a juncture right after her big smash on the international level, it's telling.
Okay. I'm going to get that from a female perspective, because he spoke about people coming along in the circle and all of that, and outside influences. No, it is being said that her husband has played a major role in a lot of things that has transpired. Now you have achieved certain things with this particular coach. Would you now allow your husband to impede or intervene within this circle, knowing that this is the person that put you on the map? And okay.
Throwing me into the hot seat, really. I first want to correct right. Shelley was at champs and she did well. Everyone could attest to Shelley's accomplishments from champs, straight up to world championships, straight up to Olympics. Elaine is who no one knew about. Elaine was the nobody, right? And Stephen Francis placed her on the map. So now we actually know who Elaine is, right? So just wanted to make that clarification. We knew Shelley, we watched her, but Elaine, we didn't know her. She wasn't in champs any at all, right? How would I feel with my husband coaching me? That's a tricky question, because one, if it is that he carries the expertise of a coach, fine, I could understand. Even though he may be a nobody, he would have the expertise to help me. But if it's a case wherein he lacks the expertise and the experience in the whole track and field arena, I don't think it's a good approach. Not because it's family, you must give your family the ropes. So no, I don't think it's a good move.
Okay. Kems. No, we also saw another report that said that it's alleged that Masseuse and her husband actually got caught up in a little squabble where the husband actually threw a time bomb at the Masseuse. So could you elaborate on that?
Jabs. I heard jabs were thrown. I saw it on social media, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, time bombs.
I mean, if you want me to confirm that it was true, then yeah, it was definitely true. But I personally thought that, because I think that happened a while back, wasn't it? I think
How long ago?
that happened. In my recollection, I think that happened at World Championships. In my recollection, that's what I'm trying to remember. I think that's where it happened. If that's the same jab we're talking about, right? Because it's probably multiple jabs, right? But based on what I remember, that it happened at World Championships. But in terms of the whole thing, right? All right, let's put things in its proper perspective. Because I can see Stephen Francis' side, I can see Elaine's side as well, right? What Stephen Francis is saying is that I've never seen Stephen Francis did such a long interview. The last time I saw him did this was when Asafa, Sharon, and them, they get caught up in that little thing where they got suspended, where that trainer give them the thing and they got suspended, right? All right. So from Elaine's standpoint, right? Elaine, fastest woman in the world, right? MVP. So when MVP will always take it from nothing to something, right? So when MVP take it from nothing to something, they take out when they sign that contract, approximately 35% of whatever you make, goes, right? No doubt. That's the contract. So whatever contract you get, you sign it through MVP. 35% of that comes out. So Elaine, Stephanie McPherson, all those because when Stephanie McPherson come to MVP, she was running 59 seconds. Got her down to 49 seconds right now. Right? So all that 35% have to come out, right? And you can't really blame him, right? But when Elaine reached the level that she reached now, she want a she want a contract reconstruction because all right, when I was nothing, you can take out 35%. But now I'm something. So we have to try to reconstruct. But the way our MVP works is that Brando, you already see this man no nonsense. This man now reconstruct no contract because this is what the contract is, right? So there's a lot of other athletes who, I won't really call him name right now, but there's a lot of other athletes that have left MVP for the very same reason because they wanted a contract reconstruction. Steve Francis said, "Well, there's the door. There's the door. You can go ahead and take the door." So that is one of the main things. The other thing that happened is that Elaine wanted a reconstruction contract from Nike because Shakari Richardson is making way more money than Elaine, in way more advertisements than Elaine, get all the interviews that Elaine doesn't get, but she has won nothing. Elaine has basically won everything that there's to in an Olympics, Diamond League, all that kind of stuff. Fastest woman in the world, she can't get nothing. Basically, when she went to Nike, Nike said no, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. This is a contract,
Oh,
right? But let me tell you how Nike is. And if I don't know if you know, one must know by now, Nike is about their brand. Nike is about who is popular at the time. You know, Shelly is an ambassador for Nike. So is Shakari. Elaine is not. And someone said it to me that Elaine looks like an American actually said to me that Elaine looks like the kind of person who will go into Nike, see a spikes or them like, and buy the spikes. She another type of person who gets spikes from Nike. That is just how it come off to them. Because Nike treat her like trash, basically. Right? So, but at that same time, because she was a nobody and she was coming up in the ranks, she had to take the contract because that is a contractual agreement between Nike and MVP. Right? So that is what she had to take at that point in time. However, now she on her own and they want to keep all the money in the family. So that is where that aspect come from. Where Stephen Francis now said about athletes leaving, because what we have to understand is that not because someone take us somewhere mean that we're obligated to. Sometimes in life, like let's say I'm talking to a girl when I'm broke. I know me get rich. Me have a little change in flavor. You can't tell me no say I am obligated to stay with this woman. Like it can't be that.
you should be a
Like,
LeBron. You should be a LeBron. Stay with the one that knew you when you were broke.
well, hey, no, probably have to be a Steve Harvey, you know. Yeah, I don't know, but where that is concerned, and MVP also has to be fair because MVP they run a business and they have cash cows. Asafa was a cash cow. Sharon was a cash cow. Shelly was a cash cow. And now Elaine is a cash cow. Until we see October 18, we'll see what happens if she show up for trading or not. My guess is, based on what I'm hearing, she definitely won't. She's out, and she's definitely going to Puma because the money that she's getting from Puma is triple, quadruple times what she was getting from Nike. You understand me? And the little perks that are in the contract from Puma, based on the preliminary hearings that I'm hearing, is obviously more than what Nike was ever giving her. Now, let me address something else. A lot of persons, a lot of persons about Paul Francis, Stephen Francis stuff, right? Let me tell you, Stephen Francis there has been investigated many times. many times to see if any Puma athlete training with him or he's training any Puma athlete. So I know a lot of persons come and say, oh, well, them can train under Frano, but just use Stephen Francis as the name. No. Nah. Paul Francis actually trained the Sherika. Paul Francis actually trained Stephanie McPherson. If there is something that Stephen probably see and something needs to be tweaked, he'll call his brother on the phone and say, hey, but you'll never see Stephen training Sherika Jackson since she sponsored by Puma, because that could be a definite breach of contract and that could turn MVP right over.
Okay. Wally, you have been quiet all night long. Subsequent to all the rumors that we have seen all day, I just recently saw a clipping where Elaine was speaking to two guys and she was saying that all that they have been saying is just all for the media, because remember at one point they even said that she was dead and all of that. So everything that you see right now is just mere rumors. This is coming from Elaine herself. She said it out of her own mouth. So in regards to that, what you have to say about that? It's just a cover up, like a band-aid over the sore.
The all right, what Stephen Francis's interview was very telling to me. On a couple of fronts. One, I have never seen a Stephen Francis interview where he is so politically correct. I've never seen that. That is I was wondering if it was Bruce James mask in Stephen Francis's body. So I've never seen in all the years I've been following track and field. Stephen Francis is confrontational, very abrasive, very upfront, very forthright in his positions and things. So the fact that he was tiptoeing around the issues kind of says to me that they didn't have a direct exchange, but he probably heard something in the grapevine. That is the kind of vibe that I'm getting from
But he
Steve.
said he confirmed that they received some letter. He received some letter. So
No. He didn't say he received a letter. What he said is that he cannot speak to Elaine has said to him and what he has said to her.
Well,
Right? So that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. See, he was very direct and deliberate in how he answered the question. So it seems to me that he got some secondhand information that the move is to be made. Apparently, based on that, Elaine is doing some damage control. Cause it's like the puss come out of the bag before she wanted to come out of the bag. So she said, boy, is rumor. So it's all damage control based on what I'm seeing there. I want to address one of the prevailing sentiments that I see on social media about Elaine being ungrateful as a general principle, and it's kind of dovetailing from what Kim said. No, you sign a contract, right? Now, any one of us at our place of employment, before we begin that sojourn, we sign a contract, right? Even if you can't use the premise that, okay, well, there were so many applicants, and because the company chose you, therefore, if an opportunity presents itself to go to another company, you just stay with the company that chose you. It is an exchange of goods and services. So I don't know anyone who, in all honesty, if somebody came to them and said, okay, I am offering you 4 times the amount than what you are currently making, from the person who took you from obscurity, who said, boy, I need to be loyal, let me stay here. It's a business arrangement. Now, if it is a case now where when the person leaves and they're actually besmirching the person who took them from nothing to something, then I can see the whole argument of being ungrateful is applicable. I say, boy, Stephen Francis is the worst, boy, and say all kind of bad things about them and they have nothing positive to say about their experience at MVP. Then no, I can take the ungrateful thought there, but to have an opportunity present itself to me more money. I can't call that person ungrateful. My concern is though, prior to the context that Kims gave us was that I don't have an issue leaving, but not no, because I can see her making more bang for her buck when she dominates at next year's World Championships. She can command, a top dollar. Her she would have greater leverage with that additional success behind her name to negotiate the contract. So I'm hoping that there are some riders in this contract that would be tied to performance incentives going forward.
So let me add to that real quick before Ryan go. So Wally, like her husband, her second husband actually, I'm the first. Her second husband, he has some finance and such background, right, to his name. Him have such background to his name, and I just I heard that the 35% thereabout never really sit well with him, seeing that he's a coach as well. He's a coach, and he coaches in. I mean, I don't know if any one of y'all are coaches. How would y'all feel about y'all wives out there running with another club, 35% gone, when say, well, if you come with me, 100% stay with us. So financially, it's a good move, but there's a lot of other stuff that I'm not really sure. As I said with Wally, I don't really sure if she would be there yet. One last thing, as Wally said about damage control, right? Let me tell you something. In sports world, nothing is leaked by accident. Nothing at all is leaked by accident. Nothing is leaked by coincidence. So that being leaked, it is a strategic way Elaine and her husband are trying to do. Okay, I could leak this information and then I could see what the reaction will get. But if you don't know Frano not budge. Frano will say right through the door. So I just don't. So Elaine come now and say, oh, it's rumors. Nah, who are gonna leak it? All right, tell who. Remember the same time when Shelly had left. The first time when Shelly said she wanted to leave MVP. I don't know if you remember that. The very first time she said she wanted to leave. What them come out and say, oh, it's rumors. It's rumor. When them ask Shelly, no, I'm happy. Ask Stephen Francis, no, I'm good. Shelly really wanted to leave at that time. Again, it was sponsorship. Nike, our really Shelly stay. When she secured that good Nike sponsorship without MVP, then that is when she decided to depart. So the same with Elaine have Nike no more. She got to Puma. She got about her business.
Okay.
I mean,
Ryan,
something.
you've been quiet all night, right? And Wally made a point about the contract. Could it be a case that MVP has set up this contract in a sense that it would be considered a fixed contract, so there's no way that you can possibly negotiate further down the line?
Well, I'm going to equate it to most of us here watch football and everything, so we know how contracts is set up from that end, and we have seen that many times from that end in terms of that sport. So where a new player comes on, they sign a contract, a long-term contract, and you're trying to negotiate for a higher wage because your stock has gone up, and the chairman said, oh, no, where you sign, you have 4 years left on your contract, we're not going to extend it, and so forth. That's how contracts are sometimes, depending on the language of the contract and the length of time for it. So some of the time it might be detrimental to sign a long-term contract and stock go up over the next year or so, and you can't really maneuver your way out of it. So it depends on the language of the contract, the terms, and all of those things. I would not agree that she is ungrateful, because Elaine right now, she's 29. She is in her prime. This is her greatest year ever. We don't know if her Achilles going again. We don't know if she's going to have another 2, 3, 4 years of this form or things to it. So this is the best time for her right now to say, all right, let me realize on what is there for me to capitalize on. I never know about the 30% part, which is very significant. So if it is that her husband is a coach and they can bring home all the money in the same household, then why not? If he can maintain her and she can even maybe go up to another level, she will have specialized training now from him. She will have the attention and all of that. What is the, I don't see an issue her making that jump. Sometimes you have to take certain risk for your own good, for your own financial well-being and what have you, because sports is a very short career, so you have to, when you're in your prime, you have to try and capitalize on your stuff. You can't say, oh, I'm going to do this because that person did that for me 5 years ago. No. And somebody used the work analogy. When you're at a level now, for example, you're not working in a company take you up when you're broke and you're elevated to a certain position and you realize that, okay, make better somewhere else 2 times my salary. So you're not bonded to say. There is no reason for you shouldn't be considered ungrateful, because at the end of the day, your personal well-being should be your priority. So for me, I don't see an issue with her to capitalize on her form and capitalize on her prime.
Okay.
And I actually think it's the best time now. It's the best time to get to renegotiate her contract. She's the best thing ever right now. So it's the best time. It's absolutely the right time to have a
with the whole Nike situation, that alone, if not for anything else, is a major reason for her to leave, because you're spending money endorsing somebody who has never won anything of consequence. So why? And she is the greatest sprinter, maybe of all. So why should she undersell herself? There's no reason for that.
Okay, Kems, go ahead.
All right, so I know we're talking that obviously Elaine should cash in now and so, but it's probably not a long list, but let's look at individuals who have decided to leave their coaches and be coached by their husband. So we have Veronica. She was never the same. She went to go with her husband. I mean, she was still running, but she wasn't a championship runner. You can correct me if I'm wrong. She wasn't a championship runner. I believe, MVP for me personally, I believe Steve Francis is the only coach who can get you running your best at the right time. Because even look at Shelly. Shelly ran 10.63, 10.60. But when she left Steve Francis, when it was the right time at the Olympics, she never delivered her best race. But then here comes Elaine now, not running so good at the Jamaican trials. Then she started building up to speed. Then the Olympics, she ran arguably, after the 10.54 or something different. But she ran her best race up to that point. I don't know the qualifications of this husband. I don't know any athlete that this husband has rose to the. No. I don't. Let us talk about even Cameron Blazers. To me, as we said before, Cameron Blazers are party shop. To me, right? So I don't know any athlete that Cameron Blazers has put out there on the map, but MVP has that caliber. So now we have to look at it, and I can't blame her for taking a personal decision. I don't know what going on in her household apart from what she tell me, right? But I don't know what going on in her household. You don't know how the finances are working. So she get the money. Okay, take the money. But in terms of Jamaicans, obviously we're going to want to see the best Elaine. But nothing can tell me that next year when Elaine won at the World Championship, I can't. Honestly, I don't know if I can put my money on her being trained by her husband. I don't know if I can do that. Right now, it's advantage Shelly. If you ask me, the World Championship, if she got to her husband, advantage Shelly and Fraser Price. Because Is one thing I have a Stephen Francis program, but there's so much that goes into it. Okay, ensure you're injury free, recovery period, this, that, all of them things. For me personally, I mean, I don't know. I think it's advantage Shelley. Me, honestly.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
Kenzie.
the contract thing, I don't have an issue with her renegotiating her contract, but the changing of to leaving MVP actually to be going to someone who is an unknown, that is my biggest problem because you're leaving the club that has potentially the best coaches for the sprints. That is my issue, leaving to go to her husband who has no proven record. There's no way he can train Elaine to get her to run 10:49. There's no way. The man has never trained a dog. So I mean, I'm just saying.
Live life
We've
now.
we've not and it's being ironic. We don't know. He's never I don't know if of him training one getting them to run 11-0. We don't know. He's never done that. So I think that's a mistake.
But all right, but here's the thing though. She's in a bit of a quandary because her leaving MVP is kind of by default. So to take the
No,
money, so it's not that
not really.
she's
She could have stayed with Paul Francis if she stayed at MVP. Paul Francis could have trained her.
True.
And Stephen Francis is still the head of MVP. Even he can't train her, but he could say to Paul, "Hey, do this on the side," or he could say to Paul, "Use these methods for her."
True. So good point. So she could actually remain at MVP and accept the contract. That is true.
But look at this. All right, but this is where it gets tricky now. This is where it gets tricky because now we'll go and we'll look at Sherika.
Sherika is Paul Francis.
Sherika over by Paul Francis, right? So now a Sherika right now I get built up to be the face of MVP, right? So I don't know if you know. This is how MVP. This is how MVP work, right? If you see one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now a Sherika time now. She and Elaine is relatively close in age,
2 years apart.
But a Sherika time now. So really and truly, okay, Elaine through the door. So Elaine not go train. If she not train with Steven, she not go train with Paul. I know one of them situations they were okay, you're not training with Steven, so just go train with Paul. No, it's not gonna work like that. It's either Steve or through the door. And
so just a quick inquiry, Kim. So is that so because of Steven's dictatorial disposition, or she and her husband is really saying, boy, we just want to cut ties altogether?
Wally, I don't know if you're looking at Thesaurus today, coming with all these big words. I can't understand. I'm joking. But I'm gonna tell you a question because I wanted to bust that joke all night from you starting talking. But repeat the last part of it, please. I'm sorry.
Right. So I was just asking if the scenario that you described is due to Stephen Francis's headstrong position, or it's more due to Elaine and her husband wanting, or more so her husband wanting to cut ties altogether.
I would say honestly, it's a bit of both, but more the latter. Yeah, more the latter because as I've.
It has to be the latter.
As I've said it many times, the husband wanted Elaine a long time ago. Like he wanted her to come across a long time ago, but obviously due to contractual agreements, then she couldn't go. But right now, the shift is being made, and she can come out and she say, oh, she can do a million interviews and say, oh, I'm not going. PR probably tell her to do that. Oh, I'm not going. Trust me. October, Elaine is not reporting to MVP. She is not.
Remember, the same thing happened during Shelley's time, right? Shelley said nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden she moved. So yeah.
She
I'm
couldn't
wondering.
stray far though. She couldn't stray far because her contract wasn't up as yet. If you
Right.
guys remember, her contract wasn't
Yeah.
up as yet. So even though
Yeah.
she was training with someone else, she still had to be under MVP. She had to honor her contract. And the next
Right.
thing too, I just want to touch on, MVP has their contract with Nike. Nike has the contract with MVP. So even if we wanted her to train with Paul Francis, or even if she wanted to train with Paul Francis, the issue really is about money. She's not getting any with Nike. So she wouldn't go with Paul Francis either
Perfect.
way.
No, but Paul
Okay.
Francis trains
Okay.
Puma athletes. Paul
Yeah.
Francis trains Puma athletes.
Mhm.
So she
All
could
He
right.
have gone
does?
with Paul Francis. Yes, he does. Because
Yeah.
Sharika
Sharika is with
Jackson,
Paul
Puma.
Francis?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because
Sharika.
Sharika is sponsored by Puma. But Kims, I want to ask you, has two questions. Has Sharika trained with Freno at any point? One, and two, has there ever been a situation where an athlete, due to a contract issue, moved from Freno to Paul Francis?
So, all right. Erika trained Brano up until the time when I don't remember what year exactly it was. But remember when he came out and he hear him say him stop coach athletes now. I don't even remember that time. Then.
Yes, I remember that time. Yep.
That's how when it stopped. That's how when it
Hmm.
stopped. The
Because
second,
yeah, Stephen was Sharika's coach
yeah,
initially. He
yeah.
was.
But then when he come out and he make that and say him stop coach athletes, that was for the night propaganda. And then that is when the shift. That was when the shift started to be made because Nike wasn't sponsoring all the athletes on the MVP for it. Yeah, Nike like,
James, you're kind of breaking up.
are you hearing me now?
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. So I'm saying, that is when the the breakup. That's when the breakup happened, and then the McPherson and the Sharika and all of them go over Paul Francis. Get them little Puma contract and so where them can go on. As Nike wasn't going to sponsor them. So and Stephen Francis, because he is the face, so he is the only person can train the Nike athletes. So say for example, you will never ever see Paul Francis even hold the blocks for Elaine. And like no, not even that you ever see. Because
Okay.
of strips. Yeah.
All right. So, Anaki, I want to ask you a question. So, still getting that feedback. All right. So, I'm looking at it and I'm saying that, do you think that she's making the right move at this particular time, or she could have waited until probably next year, knowing that she's basically close to the world record for the 100-meter, and just wait until they run that world record to hit the top, so you know that you'll have more money coming into the pocket instead of jumping the gun too quick? Or is there something known as jumping the gun too quick right now?
All right. Money talk. And them say what? Bush walks, right?
Bullshit.
So
Mhm.
for Elaine, it's all about the money right now. Whatever contract she has honored it. She has all right to leave, as you have said, and all the other panelists have said. There's nothing to hold her back, right? But staying at MVP, who has the contract with Nike, she's not earning anything. Kems has said it. After them take out the tax, after you pay the physiotherapist, after you pay the dietitian, after you pay the masseuse, after you pay the coach, right? You basically don't have anything left. And when you look and see the overheads, you're like, then what am I running for? What am I doing here? Why am I with Nike? They're not giving me any endorsements, giving a nobody. I've risen from a nobody to a somebody, and yet still they're not looking my way to say, let me make her bigger, let me make her better. So
All right.
I don't think she has jumped the gun. To answer your question, I don't think she has jumped the gun, right? I think in the way how she handled the situation, as Levon had said, it has caused her to know somewhat trying to do damage control. So she didn't want to let the cat out of the bag just as yet. Maybe at the October 18 meet when she's supposed to go back, that's probably when she would have, or when she had spoken directly to Stephen Francis.
all right. But level one, I see this. I see Anthony Henry talking about endorsement from NCB. Come on, no man. Let NCB tonight. Right, let's come. Right? So now look at
The-
this. Let me also add this element to it, right? Let's put things into context, right? Elaine, right? Olympic champion, 100, 200, 4x1, Diamond League champion, right? Diamond League champion. Shakari Richardson, bang, make more money from Nike than Elaine made all season. Shellyan made more money than Nike than Elaine made all season.
So why this man a jump the gun? I had that question further down to ask you, you know. So why you jumping the gun?
I'm sorry, Froggy
Go
today.
quiet, man, Froggy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah, but when it come on to that now, so and when you can say people now watch people money, trust me, them at least out. We get sponsored by the same thing, and I am the one achieving. I am supposed to be the one making the most money, right? So then now when you see that, you see Shakari who get banned for this, get banned for that, last place, this place, all kind of thing, and she's still making more money than the Olympic champion, right? When the meet in Oregon was taking place, Shakari got 10 advertisements. Elaine got one.
One.
One, right? Then again, another thing. Shakari got 3 interviews from I think Elaine. I didn't think Elaine got an interview. You can
No,
tell
it's only a Jamaica. I think it was a Jamaican who
Jamaican
actually
local. It was a local interview. Yeah.
like Elaine ran 10.54, the fastest woman alive, and she could not get an interview at all. But Shakari come last, and she was all over. So all those little things come to add up. And then if you notice, she took out Nike out of her bio. I think it was right after that event. I think it was right. I think it was right. Event she had took it out because she already said that she was done. She was done with them and she's going to move on. But so when you put things into that perspective, then Frano can come and he can say, oh, at least come from the ground up and so and influence and so. But you have to really look at that and say, if I stay with Nike and I am running these fast times, if I break the world record, I am still not going to make the amount of money that I should make versus even a Shakari. Because if Shakari got Olympics now, or World Championships and come 4th or 5th, she'll still make more money than Elaine if the two of them would Nike.
I understand that the hair and the flair is American and Nike is American. So Nike was trying to promote the hair and the flair, who end up being dead last. She has not won nothing. Zilt. Zero. Nada. She's not won anything.
Yes, Chris Lynch agreeing with you saying that you can't use the meat in the USA. Elaine is not big in the USA, so it's just marketing the right product at the right time. So yeah, I can understand why they did it. We don't necessarily agree with it. But we can understand what they do. They're an American company. They're going to build up their own.
But what Nike should have done was to increase Elaine's payout. Give her lots of money. Flood her with money. Because we messed up. We messed up by not showcasing you to the world when we should have. So pay her some money. Give us increase our contract.
Albert, Albert, let me ask you a question. Right? I'm going to use relationship analogy. That's my favorite analogy, right? So let's use that one. Albert, you have a girl.
Careful.
Salaman.
Albert, you have a girl that you love, and you have a girl that loves you. Right? This is it, This is a girl you love, this is a girl that loves you. Which one you think you are going to give the most money?
The one out of me.
No.
Wow.
I'm just messing. I know for sure. I'm just messing.
It never pre the play.
No.
I'm just messing. I know what
I'm just a mess around, man. But it's just a mess around. But that's the thing. Like, Elaine like, but Nike no love she.
That's true.
Nike love Shakari. Nike love the people who will always create controversy. All right, look on the lovely Alison Felix. Look on the lovely Alison Felix. Look what happened with she. You know, she get pregnant, so Nike not depend that because that is damaging their brand. When Alison Felix now came out and blasted Nike, that is when they start put things in their contract about at female athletes if they get pregnant, da 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 da. But before that, it was none of that because that is damaging the Nike brand. That does say work. It's a
But
business.
you can't kill Nike for that because Nike are looking out for their own product as well. Because I mean, she got pregnant, yeah. Is it a surety that she'll come back to whatever sort of farm she was in before that? You have to look at it from their standpoint as well. You have to look at it from a business perspective as well.
Well, if we are going to look on it from a business perspective, then that is exactly what Elaine is, right? Because Elaine is saying, well, and that is why she's with MVP. I don't want to give this coach this amount of money out of my money. You know, I prefer to stay with my husband. I prefer to stay in the family. That is just so everybody. If everybody have a business mindset, then Frano statement will be null and void. If everybody have the business aspect of it. Another thing now. So, you know, kill Frano. I'm say, okay, you know, them take out 35% and so. But you see, the 35% of them take out, it actually helped MVP. You know, it actually helped MVP. It actually helped build the facilities. It actually helped individuals who don't even have a contract, who don't even have a sponsor.
Yeah, but the MVP doesn't MVP is a Nike club, and don't Nike give MVP money itself to run the club, to help run the club, and so that they can give athletes contracts and stuff like that. Isn't it one of those that Elaine got, and then as she became bigger, she got a bigger contract from Nike?
I don't know about the bigger contract that she gets from Nike.
Not well, big in the sense that better than what she probably started out with.
Well, she started out with no contract. She started out with nothing. Like she started out with nothing until I want to say until 2016. I want to say I stand corrected, but I think it's thereabout. I think it's after the Olympics thereabout. That's when she started to get some looking because I know when she
didn't get anything when she ran at the World Championship and run 21.66. She didn't. She wasn't on the contract then.
She became second.
Yeah.
Not that I was aware of. No. Not that I'm aware of. I stand corrected, but based on what I've heard and what I know, I don't. Not in 2015.
Okay. My next question now, and I'm going to pose that question to Albert and then Wally to answer. So let's look at it from the standpoint that she made the switch and all of that. Come next year, boom, she flop when it comes on to the World Championships. Because that has to be put into the reckoning now, because again, we don't really know the track record of this husband, right? Yes, we know that he coaches at Cameron Blazers and St. Jago Boys, but we have to factor in these things. And let's say she goes to World Championship come next year and then she basically flop.
I think that is why she.
What are you going to say?
That is why she takes the big money now. So don't wait until next year, as Kevin was suggesting. Wait until you go World Championship, then you negotiate. Negotiate now while you're on top. And I mean, based on her current form, I don't see her flopping completely. She may get beaten by Shelly or Sharika, because trust me, Sharika is going to rise. But I don't see her degenerating that much to flop like a Sha'Carri. But we don't know the husband as any super coach. She needs a super coach to continue the momentum that she's having now, to continue on that lofty the hill that she's on right now. She needs somebody big. She needs somebody with experience to keep her going. So if she goes to her husband, I mean, many other athletes have done it, but I've not seen any of those athletes who have actually won a gold medal. They've gotten silver and bronze, but I've never seen any of those athletes won anything big.
That's
and her coach is a relatively unknown person, so I don't know. I don't see what's going. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be, something for us to look forward to.
Okay.
Who is Shelly's coach now, and what pedigree did he have prior to Shelly coming to him?
He
Okay,
was at
so the coach of
MVP. He
Shelley
was
is
training Shelly
Ronaldo
at
Walcott, and
MVP.
he,
Yeah.
he was basically tutored by Stephen Francis.
Yes, he was.
Right, Paul Francis, right? Yeah.
No,
No. We're talking about Shelley's coach right
No.
now. I'm Ronaldo Walcott.
Walcott.
Oh.
Man, a big coach, man.
Yeah, he is.
So,
He is a big coach. He's been training. He had a lot of input in Shelly's training while she was at MVP, to my knowledge. So when Shelly moved down St. Elizabeth to be with him, yeah, and we can see that now he's won all the 100 meters at champs on the boys side.
Yeah, man,
So
yeah,
big coach.
a big coach, and the kind of individual attention where Miss Price was looking for. She got it. She got it from that guy. So a big coach, man. A big
okay.
coach.
And see that, as you mentioned, individual attention. Stephen Francis mentioned that too in his comments. He's saying that a lot of athletes out there, I'm not the type of person who's going to give you the individual attention. That's what he was basically saying. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to call you when you go home and ask you how you're doing, how you and your husband doing. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're looking for, if that's what the other people are telling you that they are getting, you're not going to get that from me.
And
Simple.
real
And
quick,
they all know that.
yep. And real quick, Levon, I know you have to move on. And so, for example, like with MVP as him say, they must start training October 18. I don't like with a husband and wife situation. All right, Elaine can come at MVP and say, I'm gonna feel like train today, no. Or I may go home. I
She
don't know
can't do
that
that.
husband thing now. Maybe I feel a little bit sore. All right, take the day off. And, like I know these are professionals, but I just believe there's a lot more wiggle room when you're with your spouse, and so I don't think it's as stringent as a Stephen Francis program. Because I've never seen an athlete that haven't complained about Stephen Francis program ever. They've always said, "Boy, tough,
No.
or them can hardly walk, etc." Especially now moving in October, November, December, January when they start to bulk up before they start cut down, right?
All
So
right, Kems.
yes,
Kems,
sir.
I know a particular athlete that said Stephen Francis not give him no attention.
With that,
I'm not allowed to call the name of the program, but he's a youth where
him not
yeah,
good.
he did well for his high school, but you're telling me that you're what 23 and running what 10-7 as a man. I
The,
really think that he's going to take you serious.
the thing is, let me tell you. You see, if Steve Francis don't give you any attention, is you're not show up for is either you're not showing the interest, you're not show up for training. You're
Yeah,
very.
that's not good enough, boss.
I really not good. Him try with you, cause trust me.
Boss man, I can tell her this, and the producer can tell her that that particular person that we're talking about, that man ain't no good. But Wally, that's a question, and Kim's kind of butting a bit, but I want to ask you the question. Over the years, it has been proven that after a particular athlete might leave the MVP camp, Steven generally finds someone to rise. Do you think that someone is on the horizon to actually topple Elaine come World Championship next year?
On the horizon, no. Um, in the distant future, yes, and that is just because Elaine will be petering off while the person may be ascending, and that is with respect to Sherika Jackson. But right now, the gap is just, I don't know. It MVP seems to be very, very fortunate that when the current star reaches a level of discontentment, they can transition seamlessly to another
Seamlessly.
one. It is absolutely remarkable. It's almost like front and nose. All right, based on my training regime, the average person now can tolerate this for more than 5 years. So by year 3, 4, they start to bring in another person. So in the immediate future, no. unless the husband makes a complete mess of it. But right now, the gap between Elaine and the next in line at MVP, Sherika, is too big to for that gap to be bridged in the immediate future.
Okay.
I also heard that from the grapevine that there's a rising athlete, like upcoming athlete, like either just leave high school or in university and not doing well overseas. I heard that such athlete
So
will be.
Kim, you want me to say it aloud on the show? Kevona Davis.
But
We're talking about Kevona, man, and
but
we know the backstory about that, man.
yeah, but because I don't know. I guess for a lot of viewers who probably don't know or probably think they know, because I see a lot of them from last night who was chastising me, but
Mm-hmm.
Kevona really and I tell them all the time, Kevona really and truly was supposed to go to MVP. That was exactly where she was supposed to go. But then because of Corona and Corona come out, she locked up because there was no SATs needed to go to Texas. So I'm not saying that she couldn't pass SATs. So don't say Kevona Duns, because I never said that. Right? I never said she couldn't pass SATs. But what I'm saying is that it's an easier route, for her to get the scholarship, because say she do SATs and get this and probably some scholarship stuff. But so she took the road to Texas. Obviously, it wasn't working out, and she's a very injury prone athlete. She's a heavy athlete. So she need a particular training. So hopefully everything works out for that, because we'll be very excited to see her in the MVP camp, and probably she can be the next Elaine, rising up under the stars. Who knows?
Okay. All right. So another thing that I want to ask, and I'm going to ask this question to Anake. So I've seen a lot of social media coaches, a lot of social media experts saying a lot of things. And as you guys keep on saying on the podcast so far, that probably would just want to keep the money inside the family and all of that. But people have been saying that if you look at Elaine's family herself, right, it could be said that Elaine hasn't invested quite enough money into her own family, based on when the interview was done by Gleena and all of those during the Olympics, and you saw the surroundings, and then when they interviewed her father and all of that. So they're saying that she being in the position that she was, she probably could have done better. Or is it a case that her husband is the one that is just taking all the money all to himself? And okay, go ahead and answer that.
Oh, make you never ask Kems that. Now, I'm the second husband.
That sounds like a question with Kems.
No, sir. I'm the second husband. He's supposed to know this, man. Well, wow. All right. Why you think me another one here? All right. I don't know. To be honest. I don't know. Maybe she could have invested in her family a little bit more. But then we're gonna go right back to the whole contract details. If she's not getting any money to begin with, there's no way she can invest in her family. So her husband not take no money because he not get none for begin with. She not carry home no bread. Right?
64%, that's a lot. Either way.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
All right.
Considering, all right, let me tell you why it's not a lot. Again, remember, she's almost like a contractual labor. Anyone who is with a club is like you're a contractual laborer, right? The club book your chat meets them make sure say you get in with this endorsement deal, yada yada. If you got this meet, there's a possibility that you might have to pay a certain fee, maybe $10,000 for this chat meet here. Then after that, tax come out of it, depending on how much money you get. Then on top of that, you have to pay the masseuse, the people them who give the food, the people them who help with whatever else it is. You have to pay it back. When you're done maths out all of that, what you have left? What you have left? She and her husband almost cost a night time. She not get nothing either.
Well, Anarchy, I'll kind of disagree. Respect.
Oh yeah, should I get something?
I'll disagree with you because all right, let us look at this, right? Again, Levon, good question, but the thing is we don't know the makeup. Sometimes, as an athlete, as a rising athlete, you probably bring back something to your family and they must say, no, grandma, grandpa, daddy, mommy, you start bringing them a thing and you say, mommy want to build up a house, and all time people say, no, I just some born, I just some grow, I want it stay how it stay, yada yada yada. So like I'm not really sure about that aspect. What I can tell you though about the other aspect is that where the money is concerned is the one who wear the pants that control that money. Not the one who run on the track, right? Or the one who wear the pants that control the money. So wherever such person say the money go, that is where the money go, right? So and that is when I ask the question and when I tell my lie, right? That is where the money go. So probably when them start get 100% of the money now, probably then you might see house bill here so, car buy there so, car port fix up, who knows, right? But for just answer your question, yeah man, the second husband control the funds, man.
Man said second husband. Wow.
Mhm.
But Albert, do you know, right?
Mhm.
Could it be a case that remember again, we saw all the rumors that said that Elaine up here so they're really that good. So could it be a case that she's not all that when it comes on to handling all those things that she just allow this person to just brainwash her or things like those? Could that be a factor?
It's possible, but I'd want to think that the fact that she's at MVP with Bruce James being a financial guru himself, then there is some sort of lesson being taught in money management because it would be remiss if they don't do that to these athletes because we know that many athletes, not just locally but internationally, broke people. You're broke and you've become a phenomenon and you start getting lots of money. A lot of these people blow the money. So I would want to think that at MVP there's some lesson in regards to money management. Um, I am not going to speak to about the psyche of her because she's my wife, and I want to think that she is there long enough to know how to how to save and how to manage her money even before she got married. So I want to think that some sort of sense would have been instilled in her. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, we know that once people are married, then everything changes. And
Mm-hmm.
if the husband is a dominant figure in the relationship, like many relationship, and even though they are not the breadwinner per se, then they can take over and tend to start dominating and telling the other party how to spend and where to spend and how to save and so it's possible. I've not seen much. I've never heard the husband speak. So I don't know much about him. I have listened to Elaine, and to me it sounds like she has her head on her body, except when it comes to certain things. I'm not gonna say what those are, but I want to think that she's strong enough to want to help to dictate how her money is spent.
This is so. This is it. So this is it, right, Albert? And you can look right. All right, look when Shelly do an interview, and then look when Elaine do an interview, right? When Elaine do an interview, it's like, and I'm not saying you can't mention your husband and so, but it's like
Hmm.
it's a point of duty, you know.
Hmm.
Well, Shelly we mentioned her son, her husband, and move on, but Elaine is stuck on it, like.
I think Elaine is Shelley is a different caliber athlete, and that has to do with her level of education as well. that makes Shelly a stronger athlete. It makes her more fluent when she speaks, and it sounds like she actually has a good graft on what on her money and how it is spent.
Definitely,
But
definitely.
stick
Yeah,
up in though, Albert, because earlier on the producer and I was talking about, and we're saying that it's not a case like as if Elaine is a dunce because she went to Manchester High. I know that in order to go to Manchester, you have to attain a particular average, right? So if you look at it from that standpoint, it can be said that she's not someone that is lacking in terms of education, but I put it down to being street smart and probably grown in a closet. Like she
and
wasn't, she didn't experience, she didn't get much exposure to the world. So it could be a case where, hey, as Kim said, she saw that everybody around her was married and all of that. So she basically run it down, and guess what? You know when you normally chase things, what normally happen to you. So
I
it
think
could be
yeah,
like,
there's something is wrong with Jamaica. I think something is wrong with the Jamaican women. I don't know. As soon as they reach a certain level, then there's this rush to get married. I don't know why. I don't. Unless it's there's a ring to be in a Williams or must be. I don't know. It seems like it's a thing at MVP.
I tell you, man. As soon see some more. As soon as, like, it's just a big thing in it's a big thing in the track circle. You know, like for be married is like you get a degree. Like, people look on you at a pedestal right now. Like, yeah, she married, she have her stuff together. But if you are in certain track circles, you will really hear more about what go on and so with for them thing. But Levon, I hear you say, okay, she go to Manchester. So I don't really understand what that means. A lot of individuals go to prominent high schools, but that don't necessarily mean say when
yeah,
they,
I know that. But
Yeah,
I was just factoring it in regards to what Albert said in terms of the
because,
education that Shelly
oh,
had. So I could say the same thing in regards to Shelly, and that she went to Olmazie, but she could be a dunce as well, because we know that a lot of people going to high school and still turn out to be, hey,
exactly.
yep.
Well, then just look at it when Shelley is conducting an interview, the way how she eloquently expresses herself, and then Elaine is the opposite. Obviously Elaine is getting better, but she's not there yet. As we said before, like the husband have background in a finance, have background in this, so Elaine have the background in that. So she just so she really have to really hand it over to him. You can say by default, because he's a husband and he has the background. So we just have to really wait and see. Probably next month, October, she turn up at MVP and we end up have a total different discussion and everybody has say, "Boy, on a fool, you wanna get tripped, blah blah blah." Who knows? But right now, we're not seeing, I don't see she's going back to MVP right now. No.
okay, Wally, anything else for you to say in regards to this?
Well, I'm is really just wait and see. The it certainly what is happening with Elaine is unprecedented in the sense of the immediacy of the move. No one who would have reaped this sort of success would have changed camp months, 2 3 months after. It's usually okay, there's a long run after you reach your apex, and then person say, all right, I need to do some reevaluation to see if there's anything more that I can attain. But she's at her apex now, and shortly after, we're discussing her leaving. It would certainly be unprecedented. A lot clearly is going on behind the scenes, and we're definitely anticipating what will happen come October 18th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Albert, anything else to add to
Yeah,
this conversation?
I think it's just I know it's a good time to renegotiate your contract. As I said before, I think it's the best time to renegotiate your contract. But then to do a full 100 by renegotiating and then leaving the place that has brought you to stardom. And the worst thing about it, the rumor is you're going to someone who has no reputation in the industry. He is a nobody in the industry. He's not known to train anyone and brought them from a certain level to another level. He's not brought anyone from a 12 to a 1156 or 1110.
Yeah, and
Moreover, to take somebody who is now at 10.53 with the hope of, because the only way to go now is to go down in terms of time. To take her from 10.53 to take her to
5-4.
10.49. Yeah. So he's not that, he doesn't have the caliber to do that. So that's just the wrong move. But the contract, the more money, hell yes.
yeah, and
Hell
then
yes.
All right, Kims, hold on. Before you go on, Kims, I just want to say, we currently have 25 viewers. I just want you guys to pause the video and just subscribe. For all of you guys that haven't subscribed to the channel yet, just hit that subscription button, man. Let us continue growing as well, because just like how Elaine wants her pocket to grow, it's just the same for us here at Sports Frenzy. We want to grow as well. So let's just do it together. Kims, you can go ahead now.
Wait, sorry. Just before you go, Kims, I just want to clarify something very quickly. In terms of the delivery during interviews, it's not necessarily a measure of how educated you are. There are some persons who actually freeze when it comes to actually public speaking. But when you have a one-on-one conversation, is a whole different ball game.
True.
But she has done way better this year than previous times. And I watched the interview with her with this Jamaican Miss World what's her name? Yeah, Yandy. And she did a very good job, I would say, on that interview. I mean, it was like about an hour long. And when I listened to her, she's gonna get better. Remember Bolt? Bolt wasn't good at interviews either. He was terrible, I think. And then as time goes by, he became great at it. I mean,
push it with great. No, you push it.
I mean, well, when I
in
say
regards
great,
to him, man.
In regards to him.
In regards to him.
In regards to him, not a great, as you. I can't. He's nowhere near you, but for his level, yeah.
Level, and I saw Leon said something, and that is what I was going to say to Wally, where Wally was saying that, how can she just get up and leave? And he said this probably was something brewing from a long time ago. And that's the same thing I've said over and over. Like from the man from here, I do that ceremony. I do. He wanted to take over. He wanted to take over. What was going on, but because of whatever contract they had.
He shouldn't have waited until this point. Take her and bring her to this level then. Why wait until she's at this level, then you're gonna want to take her and
because you want it easy. That's the sensible thing to do. You want it easy.
Yeah, come on, Wilbert. Come on.
Yeah, you want it easy.
You have to work
That's
smarter.
True.
You have to work smarter.
That's true. Work smarter and harder. Yeah.
Sorry, but you were saying something.
Let's hope he can improve on what she's done, or at least maintain what she has achieved so far. If he can do that, if he can allow her or get her to remain at this level next year, then yeah, kudos to him.
So let me ask you a question. I remember a question even for the host. I have a question even for the host. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, she goes with her husband, right? Next World Championships in Oregon, she breaks the world record. What do we say now? Is it the husband that makes you break the world record, or was it Stephen Francis?
I would say she was already on a trajectory to break that world record.
Oh,
why unreasonable? Unreasonable.
And then Kim. Question, Kim. So you see if the husband to break that record, I'll just do this. Hats off to you, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, to be fair, I would have to say, I would have to attribute that performance to the husband. How can
Combination.
how can
Combination.
how is it? Hold on, how is it that we are disassociating Shellyan's current success from Stephen Francis and ascribing it to this coach, but some way, somehow, if that hypothetical situation plays out itself, we're going to say it's some residual Stephen Francis effect. No, man, we must be fair,
Has
man.
to
We
be.
must be fair.
Has to be.
No, man.
Well,
Has to be, Wally.
well,
Wally. Well, hold on, Kim. So, Wally,
Unless host, don't forget what you're going to say. Unless it is a case where him say, all right, tell me no, Elaine, tell me everything our friend you used to do. And at that we are going. So if it's that, then may agree 100%.
All right. Well, what I was going to say is that you're a man that loves to use work analogy, right? So let's look at it from a standpoint. You start off at a particular company, right? And you take time and your stocks keep on rising up and up and up and up. And then you decide, say, hey, I'm just going to cut it right here. I'm going to our next company. Wouldn't you put some of your success down to what you did in the previous company?
All right. So is two questions. So obviously the and it really comes down to semantics and where you're taking your reference point from. So obviously you can say, well, based on the training, based on the experience that you would have garnered during your time you're rising through the ranks, has put you in a position to perform at your new job. Fair enough. However, if at your new job you now go to a different level, I don't see it as unreasonable to say that it is whatever is associated with the new job that has caused it to reach this new level.
But Wally, all right, look what I'm saying is that remember that your previous company would give you the experience, they're your backbone. They're the one that build you up for this, right? So, say for instance, in your previous company, you were say assistant manager, right? You learn all the intricacies of how to climb up the ladder. So you spend 10 years in that company. Following year, you move to a new company. Within that short frame of time, that 1 year, you're the manager of that company. Wouldn't you attain that success down to what you have done before? I'm not saying entirely everything, but some amount of your success down to what you did in a previous job.
Yes, but it's just a matter of how much weighting you're putting on each point, and really you have to assess that on a case by case basis. I mean, you're a person who is into music. Do we attribute Carter's current success to Bounty Killer? What is the cutoff point? Was it last year? Was it 5 years ago? Was it 7 years ago? So you can always say, well, he gave him the start. But do you then say, having given the person the start, that every other improvement that you've made subsequently attributed to that person? I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Okay. But we're going to
Let's take Shelley for example. I mean, don't you still attribute what she's achieving now to some of what Stephen Francis did?
I
Stephen
do.
Francis brought her to
80%.
10-7. Yeah.
80%.
Yes, 80%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah.
we have reached a point where we're going to have to do a wrap. So, Albert, you're always in the comment section asking for your 30 seconds.
Yeah, of course.
No, you're on the show itself. You're right here. So go ahead and have your 30 seconds.
My 30 seconds.
Anything at all you want to talk about? Anything.
And my 30 seconds is going to be about Sharika Jackson. Sharika Jackson, she attends a school which is my alma mater, Vertec. So I am very big on Merlin Ati, VCB, those people. I am with them, rise or shine. But today I've watched Sharika since she came back, and she's like doing a little tour. She's getting, I think she may be working on some endorsement with that bun company. She's gotten a gift certificate for a year from that from Devon House. And I see she went to her alma mater today And I'm just really proud of what she achieved. I mean, even though she had a mishap in the 200, she's really done phenomenal. And I can tell you, if Elaine leave MVP this year, watch out for Sharika next year because she is going to improve leaps and bounds because she's going to have the full attention of her coach.
Okay.
So look out for her.
Okay. Wally, you're 30.
All right. So as Jamaicans generally and specifically with athletes, we have been notoriously poor at gaining the greatest bang for our buck. Usain Bolt was grossly underpaid, and I guess it's because of the framework. You know, in the Americans, they're used to multi-million dollar, tens of millions, $100 million contracts. So when Puma say, "All right, I'm gonna give you 10 million for a year," it seemed whoa, it seems so much. But we have to, we have to understand the earning potential that is there, and I think she needs to be, and her team needs to be very, very have a very, very broad perspective to see how she can package her to be more marketable. I see her on social media coming more to her shell, doing her little dances, doing her hair. So those sort of things will make her more approachable. And social media is where it's at now. This is what corporations are looking at. They're looking at your followers, they're looking at your subscribers, and they're saying, okay, here's a person who has the ability to be an influencer. Okay, ET is wearing this new earring, makeup, whatever it is. All right, we're going to back her. So I really want them to just look outside of the contract that they would get, that you would get for her legs, and look at the bigger picture and see how she can capitalize on that.
Okay. Kems.
Super.
All right. So, with all that I've said tonight, my hashtag wherever Elaine goes, Kems go.
Kems goes. So
So,
will I. So will I.
So so if you're going with her husband, that's where you're going.
well, I
Yeah, we're
mean,
gonna hate him. We're gonna
Obviously,
hate
it is
him, but
Kems.
we're still going with her.
It is with Kems. Come on, man.
I want to get with it. Get with it. But really interesting times ahead. Having a podcast like this, having a program, a forum like this, like when news like these happen, it put us in good business, give you a lot of stuff to talk about, So hopefully Shelly want to leave tomorrow. Sherika want to leave Sunday, so we can continue having these conversations, and it's just nice to see athletes are really taking control of their own destiny and stop going through these corporations and so and stop taking the disrespect because they want a sponsor here or there, and they are the ones who are performing. These companies are, they are the athlete that they're the one who's putting in the work and demonstrating their talent. So, kudos to Elaine for whatever she decides to do. Just hope she make the right decision for her and our family. So we move on.
All right. I have to tell you, Albert, Leon Price is there saying that he missed you in the comment section tonight, man, because you'd be blowing up the comment section. So I have to tell you that. But let's point out that Akil Henry, yeah, man, same Anthony Henry. You said that Richardson will blow this up. Why don't you just reach out to her? We godly appreciate anybody that comes on this show. So reach out to Shakari, man, and let her come on the show.
Yeah, let her,
Yeah,
tell her to bring her followers too.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
whoever that you can bring on, why not? We're right here. But I just want to say thanks to all of you guys, man. Without you, there's no Sports Frenzy, and you're the guys that make this possible. So thanks to all our commenters. I saw a lot of you. Thanks to all our viewers. Appreciate all of you. And as I keep on saying to you guys, just give us what we ask for. We give you quality content, and you call out for Albert to be on the show. Here he is. Who knows? Tomorrow you might see Leon Price on the show. Anything is possible when it comes to Sports Frenzy. So,
Yep.
guys, just keep on supporting the movement and let us grow together. We have just started. We're not reaching anywhere as yet, and people keep on saying that, oh, I'm grateful and all of that. But hear what? Is it Sports Frenzy as a brand? Everything comes in life, and you take life in stages. We here at Sports Frenzy, we're always going to be humble And no matter what success that we gain, we're always going to be here with you guys because you are the ones that are here with us from day one. So we're always going to remember you guys. So just keep on supporting us. And you know my ending statement as always. There's a lot of sporting action going on. Go and watch some sports. Let us learn the sports together. Until tomorrow, where we'll be divulging in some EPL action that will come into effect over the weekend. I say thanks to Albert for passing through. Thanks to Kems as always. Thanks to Wally. Thanks to Ryan who was here for a bit. Thanks to Anake who passed through as well, second female to hop on the show. So yeah, thanks to everyone that makes it possible and to our producer, Josh Carl, who makes it possible as well.
Yeah,
Until
big up
tomorrow,
Josh
guys.
Call.
Yeah, man, producer doing work behind the scenes, man. So just want to say thanks to everybody. Until tomorrow, stay safe. Peace out.